What's going on, y'all? It's Coach AC. I know it's been a long time, but I'm back with another video, and this video is entitled Reintroducing Mindfulness into Your Life and Dissolving Anxiety. I know anxiety is something that we all suffer with, whether it's a little bit or a lot, and hopefully some of the tips in this video will help you on track to dissolving and dealing with your anxiety. So before we can tackle our issues with anxiety, we must understand that our consciousness is divided into two parts. We have our mind consciousness and our root or store consciousness. In Western psychology, we call this simply our conscious mind and our unconscious mind. For simplicity, I'm going to call our mind consciousness our active mind and the root consciousness our passive mind, or you'll hear me sometimes refer to it as our autopilot mind. Our active mind is the part of our mind that we use when we're being mindful. Being mindful to me is being in tune with the present moment, with all of your senses, and really concentrating on something to the point where we can only concentrate on one thing at a time. An example of being mindful is, imagine we're standing in a beautiful garden. You're taking the time to notice the beautiful scenery, smell the flowers and the water, you're hearing the birds, you're feeling the wind and the rays of sun on your face. It's a beautiful moment. You're fully engaged in this moment. Really taking this moment to take it all in. That's being mindful. That's being in the present moment, as opposed to pulling our phones out and snapping pictures the whole time or recording a Snapchat video for your friends. Now, your passive mind, or your root consciousness or unconscious mind, contains the ability to learn, store past experiences, and has the ability to process information, much like a computer. A good example of our passive mind at work is when we're driving. Often when we're driving, we're listening to the radio, we're using our phones, we're thinking about our day and a bunch of other things that are stressing us out. We're not really focused on the driving, but we still get to our destination, don't we? How did we get there without even really concentrating on the actual driving itself? It's because we drove the entire time with our passive mind, or what I call our autopilot mind. Our autopilot mind is so strong that some of us can live our entire days on autopilot and not be in the present moment at all. Now, we don't realize this, but this is very dangerous. And this is dangerous because anxiety is defined as unease or apprehension about an event that has happened or has yet to happen. So I think about it like this. When we're focusing on the present moment, what are we not focusing on? The past and the future. And this is why we need to make time to practice mindfulness in our daily lives to reduce anxiety. It's important, however, to note that the goal is not to escape your problems or avoid anxiety. Rather, we are treating anxiety with mindfulness. Over time, we hope to see a reduction in your overall anxiety as you practice living more in the here and now. Now, how can we reintroduce mindfulness into our lives? And I say reintroduce because we were born with mindfulness. We were all born with the ability to be mindful. And I'm reminded of this every day by my 4-year-old son. He's always reminding me to look here or look there. The sun is shining. It's raining. It's snowing. Every time I'm holding something, he asks, can I hold it? Can I feel it? Can I smell it? It's really a beautiful thing. In fact, every morning we smell this candle, this scented candle that I bought. And he loves the smell and I love the smell too. And he always in the morning opens it up and asks us both to smell it. So that in itself is a mindful exercise, and I'm very grateful that he does that with me. But now, as an adult, however, we have cell phones, we have tablets, computers, TVs to draw our attention everywhere. Our active mind can only focus on one thing at once, but our passive mind can multitask. And multitasking, contrary to popular belief, is not always a good thing. Now, how can we begin to be more mindful again then? Simply, we have it in us. The first and the easiest way is to breathe, because our body was given a mechanic of mindfulness, which is our breath. Our breath, if you think about it, is constantly on autopilot. Our body does not allow us to forget to breathe, but we can take control of it anytime and control our breath with our active mind. Once we're in active mind, we can stop our breath, we can take deep breaths, we can exhale slowly, we can listen to how our breath sounds, we can notice our breath, we can notice the mechanism that keeps us alive, and observing it fully is mindfulness in its purest sense. So you can feel your body rising as you take your breath in, and feel your body falling down as you exhale. Noticing this over and over again keeps your mind and your concentration on the breathing and won't allow you to think about anything else that may be stressing you out. Now, sometimes when we're nervous, this is why people suggest to us to take a deep breath, right? Because we're nervous about something that's about to happen in the future. We're about to go on stage and perform or something, or we're about to do a presentation. We get a little bit nervous. This is why we take deep breaths before we get into that presentation room, because we want to be in the present moment now, and then when we get to that presentation, we worry about it then. I know it seems a little too simplistic, but sometimes the important things in life shouldn't be overcomplicated, and this is definitely one of them. Secondly, the best way to practice mindfulness, in my opinion, and I think in the opinion of many people, is meditation. Meditation allows us to fully focus on the present moment and to try to block out our passive mind as much as possible. It's really like working out for your active mind. Meditation is a great exercise to get us used to living in the present moment instead of in the past or in the future, which is where our old friends regret and anxiety live. For resources, there are a ton of guided meditations you can try online. Meditation studios are starting to pop up in major cities, so I'm sure you can find one if you seek one out close to you. If you live in a big city, I'd find the smaller cities are falling back a little bit, but I think in every city you can find yoga studios now, and I think eventually you'll be able to find a lot of meditation studios as well. So I think it's nice that the industry is headed that way. Otherwise, you can also do it from the comfort of your own home. You'll just need to relax and find a quiet place. And there's apps like Mindspace, and like I said, other YouTube videos that you can look up and seek out guided meditations that will help you get started. It's usually tough at first, but I would suggest maybe starting with a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes if you can. And from there, you'll ramp up the amount of time that you can spend on meditation. Now, finally, there are mindful exercises that we can incorporate into our everyday rituals of things like eating, driving, taking a shower. If you think about it, how many times are we actually eating with the TV on, our music on, reading something on our phones, or opening up a newspaper? Or if we're sitting with a friend, we're just sitting there chatting with our friends. We're not really focused on how tasty our food is, or even if we are chewing enough to digest our food properly. So a simple exercise could be that the next time you have a meal, shut off all distractions and really focus on the chewing and the savoring of your food, the enjoyment of your food, and encourage those around you to do the same. Because it's always nice to spread this message that could help other people. Now, you don't need to eat every meal like this, but we have to start making time and building habits of mindfulness every day, one way or another. We could even take a mindful nature walk if that's your thing, trying to notice all the sights and sounds of nature. And for sure, it's important to leave your phone at home or in the car. That way you can truly focus on what's going on around you. Now, once you get into the habit of making time for mindfulness in your life, you'll begin to live in your active mind with more ease and frequency. It's like when we pound the squat rack at the gym. Suddenly, when you walk around, walking becomes a lot lighter. That's the same kind of idea. Meditation will be tough at first because we're so used to being on an autopilot, but with practice we get stronger because meditation is a practice. And unless you're Allen Iverson, practice is important. I hope this helps you guys get started. Best of luck with that. If you like this message, I would really appreciate if you could like, share, subscribe to my channel. I've also started a podcast called The Gratitude Era. On this podcast, I interview real people with real stories revolving around the themes of gratitude, tragedy, and inspiration. I got some great stories up there already, so please check it out and follow as well if you can. The link is in the description below. I'm on Podbean, I believe, and also iTunes as well, so you should be able to find me on both. I'll leave you with this quote and truth, and this is what helped me make this video or gave me the inspiration to make this video, but it's only in the present moment can we deeply touch our own lives to the point of real transformation. So we can only make these real changes when we're focused on the here and the now. Thanks for watching. Be on the lookout for another video, hopefully sooner than the frequency that this one came out. Take care.